I'm getting ready to go on vacation. There's so much happening. I can't keep up with all of it. I've got the biggest sphere in existence. Not in existence, I'm not going to say that. There's much larger spheres than this. This is the largest sphere we have in our building. This is the onyx calcite from Pakistan. Beautiful piece, very large piece, lots of good colors, a big eye on the front of it. There's another eye on the back. Also sitting on an ashtray. So big things. We have big things. That's what's happening. But I wanted to bring this piece out because we have like some at-home decor type items today. And we're really excited about it because we have a vendor who is very big in Madagascar. And a lot of this stuff, that's where so many things come from. That's where freeforms and a lot of spheres come from. So we're going to jump right into it because there's a lot of really good stuff. No turntable in front of me. No gemstones. No gemstones in the show. That's the big thing. But we do have a loupe out here because there's a couple of these pieces. Everyone should own a good loupe. Okay, that's just the bottom line of all of it. And I don't have it here in front of me of what the selling price on this loupe is. I do know it's GT005. It comes with a nice little screwdriver as well. Because I'll tell you, one of the most annoying things about all loupes is when that really starts to lose its, I guess, give, it'll flop over on you and it just gets annoying. So this is $13.99 and it is a lighted loupe. So you can see pretty bright light that comes out of that because you want to have that light because it's going to give and show off all of internal characteristics of a stone that you're looking at. Or if you just want to see crystals inside of a vug or something like that, get a little bit of light in there, get a torch on there. So that's an LED light. It's pretty easy to change the batteries out on these two. I guess that's another reason why this little Phillips head screwdriver came with it. So you can get this panel off to change out the battery. It's really easy to do, really easy to keep up with, but it's also great to tighten the screw on your handle once that becomes a little bit loose. Might be too tight for you. Everybody gets a preference here. So we're gonna go right on to this. Let's just start out with this one because it's really cool. This was one of the main reasons that I decided to put the loupe in this show is because this is a piece of dendritic opal. So you can see it all along here with all of the little inclusions that are coming through it. And oh, I'm sorry, this isn't dendritic opal, it's dendritic agate. I apologize. So you can see all of the inclusions that are in this piece. And one of the great things about those dendrites, you know, it's really just a metallic oxide that forms in there that forms with said stone. So agate, you can kind of see even on the top, all that nice little banding that's with it. And it really is just great color. It's a semi-translucent piece. And as you can see when it's held to the side, the way the polish is on this, the way it dips down to pull out those natural inclusions inside of it, you know, it's something where so many times when you have a, what is it, a semi-translucent or opaque mineral, it's not like a gemstone. Gemstones, you know, there are critical angles. There are ways that you facet that to pull out everything inside of it that makes it so special. With something like this, you're really chasing material down, and you know you wanna get flush, and you want it to kind of undulate or curve a little bit, so you can really bring out the best of the best of this piece. Now with something like this, this is a 7x5 inch freeform, and it's $99. Now these are all one onlys. You know, it's really hard to replicate this stuff. Now, we brought in a lot of dendritic agate. You can probably look on the website and see a lot of this is available out there. But we didn't want to make like, you know, one thing to say size varies, shape varies. With a lot of these pieces, I stand by it because I'm a collector myself. You want the one that you see. You want the one that you fall in love with, and this is no different. So with a piece like this, you will get this exact piece. And it does have, you know, the item number is on the bottom right now, but it is flat So you can stand it up on its own. And this would look great just like on any shelf inside of your house. You can move it real easily. The only thing I would say, don't put it above your bed. Don't put it somewhere where you might fall asleep if you live in an area with seismic activity. I promise you this is the last thing you want falling off a shelf and hitting you. You don't want it falling off the shelf anyway, and that's the great thing, that it stands up on its own. So you don't really have to worry about that. That's going to be like my catch-all over here. When we're done showing something, we're just going to set it to the side so we can make room for the next one. Now the next piece, and you'll probably notice in your descriptions that we had it listed as multi-stone. Some of this stuff, like you can get a good look at it, like this looks like a brachiated material, and it comes in, it's probably a chalcedony or an agate of some sort. But we're just calling it multi-stone because when we go through with all of it, you know, the amount of material that we brought in, this came in on a pallet. We had so many pieces of material and we were just trying to get the stuff to turn. Now, the great thing with a lot of collectors, they know what something is right when they see it. So we just hadn't had the time to go through and identify stuff because with a lot of aggregates, it's a little bit difficult to go through and get a consensus agreement on what something is. We try not to use trade terms a lot of times because it's difficult to say, is this really, you know, I don't know any off the top of my head that I really want to say, like larsenite, Gary Green jasper, just a lot of things like that. The product and the price really speaks for itself. So again, this one is polished on the bottom, and this is $50. So this is a really nice freeform. The one thing that I like about this piece is it has multiple colors and it has a lot of different like textural looks to it. Some of these are just so nice to just kind of have in your hand and put your fingers on. The good thing about a lot of these aggregates is they take a really good polish. You can see that the way it kind of spreads across the stone. And the other thing that you can see as it spreads across the stone is you'll see these little vacancies inside of it. Now we have one piece that's really special, but like right here, really nice little vug that opens up in there. So a lot of people out there probably already know what a vug is. The quick and best description of what is a vug is it's an opening or a cavity that's exposed, and it usually will have crystals on the inside of it, like small little minute, we call them druzy. It could be something like quartz crystals that are inside of it, but it's just an opening or a cavity. So when you hear the term vug, like you have the one right here that almost looks like an interpretation of the Great Lakes. That's what I see in it. But that's what's so great about all these materials. And I even feel a couple on the back. So I'm going to try and manipulate this piece. Yeah, there you go. Now, these are just smaller. And again, you don't want perfection and polish. It's something that we go over a lot because if you go for perfection and polish on some of this stuff, you're just going to lose so much material. There's no point. Like on something like this piece over here, it's fine that you chase that down because you're bringing out all those really, really nice inclusions inside of it. And it really is what you want to do because the banding looks so beautiful. Everything about what you're chasing down looks great. On the piece in front of me, it's not that it's bad. You would just be losing your shape and you would constantly be chasing to get that shape because below this is more of that. And when you have a really nice, aesthetically pleasing, you know, freeform, you don't want to mess with perfection. But those vugs are really all over these kinds of pieces. And the next piece that I'm going to show you is one that, you know, I say that we don't use a lot of like trade names and stuff. It's different when you have like a piece of orbicular jasper. Now, orbicular jasper is kind of a thing on its own. Now, orbicular jasper, this piece is an ocean jasper. And that's one, that is a trade name that you do use because when you have an orbicular jasper that has multiple colors, really nice vugs like you see right there, you want to use that name. And this was another piece. This is exactly why I wanted to include that loupe because you want to be able to look inside that vug and you want to be able to look at all of those really nice crystals that are growing inside there. And I'm going to keep turning this. If you just want to stay on that, Shane, I'll bring out some of the other ones. Like this is a really nice one, this bug here. Now, the orbicular jasper, it's easy. You can see why it's called that with all the little orbs that are going across this piece. And this is a really wonderful sphere. This is a 5-inch sphere, big, decent size. My hands aren't touching. Even if I wanted to try, like it's not too heavy. I can handle it in one hand, but it really has a lot of size to it. And this is one, don't use it for bocce if you're out in the yard, if you're at holidays. This is one that you just want to keep inside the house and you really just want to appreciate and show off. And it would look good on any bookshelf. It would look good in your office. This is a great gift that you could give someone, especially when you tell them it's ocean jasper. You know, ocean jasper is a really unique thing. You can only mine it at certain times. It's usually under a full moon because the light's so bright, and they go up in the mountains in Madagascar and they get this and they try to get as much as they can all at once, just because you have to have a bright moon to really get it done. And we're lucky that we have a very good supplier of this material. And in the coming weeks and months, you'll see a lot of this material, this ocean jasper, coming onto the website, because we have more product right now to work up than we have people to do it. So we're constantly like putting out fires, getting stuff put out as we can and trickling it onto the website. It's just something that it's a constant thing that we're trying to do. So always keep an eye out on that. I'm sorry, I'm looking behind me to see if I have another sphere stand, because I have one more sphere. And these things do like to roll. So maybe I will just set that in this box and grab this other sphere. And this is another one that I believe it's of the ocean jasper variety or a jasper variety. We're calling it a multi-stone sphere. So I like this one a lot because there's one portion of this that has a bit of chatoyancy to it. You can, I shouldn't say chatoyancy, but like a reflective effect. And the other thing that I really like about this is it has a base body color, which is that pinky orange. And then it's got these semi-transparent pieces. I'm sorry, I'm hearing creaking and cracking over here, and it's making me extremely nervous. So I will hold this piece in my hand and we'll set the ocean jasper over to the side. Because the last thing I want to happen is have that piece of OJ break on us. We're not having that today, because that is a very nice piece. And I know that someone probably already has it in their cart and is wanting to get it home as quickly as possible in one piece. So this piece here, I really like it, just the texture of it and the different patterns on it, that almost zebra effect, or the zebra stripes. Sorry, I'm doing a little decorate myself just so we can highlight the size of that onyx sphere, just so you can be like, oh wow, that thing is quite large. So, ooh, I just saw it. Let me peel this tag off real quick so we can see that effect. So I don't know if you can see, it's right in this area. I'll try and rock it back and forth in the light. Oh yeah, you can see it there. Just that little shimmer that's under there. Now, could be rutile, could be a little bit of silk, it comes from Madagascar. There's really no telling, because there are so many different things that come in and grow together. And this is no different. It's probably pretty accurate and good that we called this one multi-stone, because we're never going to be able to really say everything that is in this piece. But a lot of that shimmer effect comes on here. And this would be a good one if you can find one of the little rotating turntable bases. They're out there, they're on the internet. We might be getting them soon enough, but that would be a good one to maybe set on there and spin around with, you know, a light source coming onto it, because it would really show off and really look good. So this one, really good because of all the little pockets and patterns of semi-translucent material that is in here. And that shimmer, that's a great thing about these rocks, you know, as it grows through, it's going to be on multiple sides. I just saw it again. But that translucency that is in these little pockets, it really is just gorgeous. And this one doesn't really have any kind of vugs in it at all. Like sometimes with these, you would hit a polish where that cavity would come out and you would just have a little empty spot. But no problems with this one. It's a well-formed crystal, or a well-formed sphere, and it's 3.5 inches in diameter. So a lot of these, you know, with a piece like this, with the 5-inch, if you go to the website, if you follow any of the links back, or if you are on the wonderful JTV Extra site, it makes it so much easier, or jtv.com/extra. It makes it so much easier because everything is going to be down at the bottom. You can just click on it, go right to the website, and you can read the description, and you'll see that on some of these, when they are larger, they're going to have a little bit of a higher shipping charge, just because it's going to go in a bigger box. The weight's a little bit higher. With a lot of these aggregates, it's a much denser stone than it is with just a faceted gem. So that's something to consider when you're ordering. So the last one that we're going to look at, another brachiated stone, and I love this one with the cool grays that go with the nice browns. It looks like a desert scene, and just really is all around beautiful. Now this looks like a Septarian. I think that is probably what this is. Now, we have this listed as a multi-stone freeform, and this is $60 for this one. It's a 4.5 by 3.5 inch, and I apologize. Let me get my little ruler out here so we can see it next to it. But this looks like a Septarian. Now, Septarians, you can see them in palm stones. I have a really nice one that has a cap on it that comes off. You'll see a lot of Septarian eggs where, you know, the back will look like this, maybe a little bit darker browns than you'll see. And then as you turn it around, the cavity is polished out, and you see that really soft, velvety texture that is inside of a Septarian egg. Sometimes they just call them Septarian nodules. It goes all different ways, but that's what this one looks like to me as a Septarian. And I get that because of like the sharpness of the textures on there, and when you can see it like up here and the way it curves around at the bottom. This is just a really gorgeous piece. I like this one a lot. And again, this would look really good on display in your home, but this is a smaller piece where you could have it in the shelf in the kitchen, on an end table. If you have a kid that's gone off to college, this would look really great in a dorm room. Just nice and small, doesn't take up a lot of space. It's not going to be something like one of these big boys over here where you're like, where am I going to put this? And it will live forever, because this is about 40 pounds. You're not going to want to move this too often. I brought down 2 different spheres, so you'll definitely want to tune in tomorrow to see what the other sphere is that I brought. And then next Monday, I'll have both of them on here because I'm not carrying them back upstairs. They're going to stay down here for a while, and we'll work it out when we work it out. So those are the little things that I have. I say little things, they're not little things at all. I'm going to put them all out in front of you. And again, the easiest way to get this stuff really is to go to JTV Extra or jtv.com/extra, because all this stuff will be available with a little shop button down at the bottom. So you can click right on it and go to it. But also go to jtv.com, go to jadora.com and look up carvings or any kind of multi-stone, ocean jasper. Look for these things. They're going to be all over the website, and we're putting them out there pretty frequently. So find the one that speaks to you and start decorating your house, because you're really going to enjoy it once you get this stuff home, because the one you purchase is the one you're going to get, and it's going to look great wherever you want to put it. Thanks so much.